heard you're learning about bugs this week, so I'm wearing my super cool bug shirt. I hope you like the story I picked out for you.
Today we are going to read Bug Safari by Bob Barner. The author dedicated this book to Mary Meeham, and he made a funny joke. He said, "To Mary Meeham, who never bugs me." Get it? The events described here actually happened to me. The things I learned are recorded to the best of my memory. We can still observe and learn from the great ancestors of the very ants I saw that day so very long ago. Well, last summer, actually. So this is a story about this little boy who went on a bug safari in his backyard, and he recorded what he saw. I was lost in a bug-infested jungle one hot summer day. I was all alone looking for a way back to base camp when I saw a long line of marching black ants. Where could they be going? It looked like an ant safari. Was this a way out of the jungle? I decided to follow. I wonder where those ants are headed. In all of my travels, I had never seen anything like the ant safari. Some of the ants carried things to eat, such as leaves, seeds, or bits of other insects. The ant safari was in a hurry to get somewhere. The ants didn't even look up at the big dragonfly that buzzed over our heads. We headed deeper into the dark, unknown jungle. Look at all those little things that they are carrying. They didn't notice the dragonfly, but it looks like they also didn't notice the walking stick here. Oh, he's got his pencil out. Remember, he's recording everything he sees. I crawled over rocks and through mud. I had to find out where the ants were going. The safari passed under flowers that were humming with honeybees collecting pollen. Look at those honeybees. Been noticing a lot of bees by my house recently. Oh, look at this tool that he has now. Can you tell what it is? I was measuring one of the ants with my ruler when the other ant zoomed past me in a slow-moving dung beetle. See that dung beetle there pushing that big ball of dung? I noticed that the ants talked to one another by touching antennae on top of their heads. They all knew where they were going. We were moving quickly, but to where and what? I see the two that are talking. See how their antennae are touching? Oh no. This can't be good. Then I saw them up ahead. Red ants. The black ants were fighting them. The tiny red ants were fierce and bit the black ants. The black ants stood their ground and battled for several minutes until the outnumbered red ants finally ran away. One of the black ants took charge. I called it the general. The wounded were treated and the safari continued. Yikes. More danger. I was baking in the sun. What do you think that means? He was baking in the sun. Does that mean he was really baking like a cookie? No, it just means he's really hot. And he said, I had to drink from my canteen. What do you suppose a canteen is? It's like a water bottle with a lid on it. Just one sip left. I guess he's been out there for a long time. The ants became very excited. They had come upon a toad sitting in the middle of their path. Most of the ants ran around it, but a few of them got zapped. Why would they keep going with all this danger? Where could they be going? Oh, man. Then I saw it. A giant green mantis in the bush above the ants. One of the ants was plucked up and eaten. Oh, man. More danger. But all the others marched ahead. They passed under sticky spiderwebs, spotted beetles, and noisy crickets that made a chirping noise as we passed by. I picked my way through the jungle. I had scraped my knees and cut my finger, and I needed medical attention. I bravely pressed onward, hoping I would one day see another human being. Do you think I'll make it out alive? Wonder if the ants will. Uh-oh. More danger ahead. All of a sudden, a hairy black spider pounced in front of the ants. The general led the safari around the giant, but I feared the worst. I hid my eyes and ducked for cover. Then, with a swooshing sound, the spider was gone. Look what took it away. I looked up to see its 8 legs wiggling in the beak of a robin. We were all safe for a moment. The general marched on. So the spider couldn't eat the ants, but the robin ate the spider. Because all bugs and animals need to eat, right? Oh, there's my least favorite bug. I was out of water, famished. That means he's really hungry and covered with bites. Then I heard a faint sound in the distance. I was perfectly still in the brush so I could listen very carefully. A lone mosquito buzzed past my ear. Zzz. Finally, I heard the call. A human voice. Base camp. There's a little moth or maybe butterfly that landed on his safari hat. He's finally made it back to base camp by his house. Lunch was ready. To my surprise, I discovered where the ants were going. Where were they going? To the picnic. Of course. I love a good safari, and so do ants. Look at that trail of ants headed toward the picnic blanket. Oh, here's a cool recap of all the bugs that were in the book. Now it says bug is a word used to describe many small creatures. See if you can guess which 2 bugs on this page are not insects. We'll have to read a little more about insects so you can take a good guess. It says most of the creatures in this book are insects. An insect has 3 body parts, a head, an abdomen, and a thorax. These 3 parts are easy to see in an ant, but harder to see in insects such as ladybugs or walking sticks. All insects also have 6 legs. I bet you knew that. All right, so let's look at our choices and find the 2 that are not insects. So we have stag beetle, centipedes, dung beetle, cricket, mosquito, stink bug, spider. Which 2 are not insects? Did you guess centipedes and spider? If so, you are right. They have more than 6 legs. A spider, do you know how many legs a spider has? Yeah, 8 legs, so it's an arachnid. Not an insect, but it's called an arachnid. It only has 2 body parts instead of 3 body parts like the insect. Here's a few more. There's a butterfly, honeybee, there's that mantis, caterpillar. Looks like the hungry caterpillar. A ladybug, a walking stick, dragonfly, and a fly. And on the last page, there's the ant with all its body parts labeled. There's the abdomen, thorax. How many legs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Antenna and the head. It says ant. The first ant appeared 130 million years ago. Wow. Ants come in many colors and range in size from 1/6 to 3/4 inch long. The ants we see above ground are usually worker and soldier ants. Only male ants and queens have wings. Only queen ants lay eggs. Ants live in large groups called colonies, either underground or sometimes above ground in piles of loose leaves or rotten wood. Some ants bite and others sting. Ants have jaws called mandibles that they use to crunch food or to fight other insects. Ants may eat plants, insects, or both. Ants can talk to one another by touching and tinning. Pretty cool. All right, I hope you enjoyed our story, Bug Safari. Maybe it will inspire you to go on your own bug safari.